Hey everyone, Egman here with another video. So this is my breakdown of PPG Orlando. I was supposed to do this like yesterday, but if you didn't know, I was commentating this entire event with Android. Super fun. Shoutouts to PPG, George Machado, for letting me come out there and do this. This is so much fun. This is the biggest event I've ever commentated for, and I had a blast. And the feedback's been amazing. If you guys want, and seriously, if you guys have any more feedback about how it was, please let me know. And I think I think they're gonna start making the rounds are going to be on their YouTube channel in the next couple of days or so, so you'll be able to see that if you missed it. But great event. I'm so happy I was able to go out there, and I can't wait to be able to have the chance to do this kind of thing again. It was so much fun commentating. Dare I say, better than competing, and just a blast. So shoutouts once again, PPG, Android for getting out there as well to do it with me. So let's look at the top 16 breakdown. So this week, instead of having Surge Goku, we've got Surge Piccolo as the number one. And if you look at this, it's a 75% split of Surge leaders, which is a little bit intimidating, but this is kind of like, it's really just kind of how people choose to diversify the meta. There's kind of two philosophies in my mind. Either you have a really good leader, but in that leader you have a lot of different archetypes, or you have tons of different leaders, but they're all using the same archetype. So I kind of like more of a good leader that can do a bunch of different things. But obviously that's not as represented as much in the pie chart, because you just see three leaders take up 75% or 75% of the chart. But there's really a lot of diversity in a lot of these decks, so don't let this fool you. I think it's really cool, and I guess honestly, if you don't like the Surge leaders, I can see why this could be disappointing for you. But right now, they're still fresh and they're still cool to me, and I think they're really cool. So there's that. We also had two Super Babies, and like the Star Deck Baby, and also a Red Vegeta Baby and a Yellow Broly. Kind of like the farewell to Yellow Broly, because I don't think he's going to have as much success past his errata after compared to beginning. But I think that's pretty natural. And that's that, and let's jump into the actual decks. Before we get started, I want to give one more shout out to George Moniz, also known as Aspira, for putting all these deck lists in. They are given out at the end of the day Saturday. George Machado put them up line, and he decided to just type them all up in Shenron's lair, which was super helpful for not just the community, but also for me and Android when we were commentating. Just having all these deck lists up for us, super helpful, and thank you so much for doing this work for us. So first place is Jonathan Rodriguez Surge Piccolo, there's a couple of Surge Piccolos here that we'll go over, but really the idea for this one, there's pretty much kind of two ideas. One, it's kind of like a hand control. First there's also ramp. So you ramp up to your win conditions, pretty much this 8-drop Android, but also the idea is that you use this 3-drop Super Saiyan Rose Goku Black, a delicate plan. So this is a draft box card. If you want it, that's too bad because it got bought out. But so it's active battle for 2, play this card from your hand, then choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards at any cost of 2 or less and KO it. And then also active main for 3, choose up to one green Zamasu card in your hand with any cost of 5 or more and play it. Then at the start of your opponent's next main phase, choose up to one of your green energy, switch to active mode. So that's pretty neat. And then pretty much the idea is you get out this guy. So for 5 energy you get this out, but but technically it's only 4 because you get to untap one afterwards. And then when this comes out, auto, when you play this card, choose up to 2 of your opponent's battle cards or up to 2 cards in their hand, and your opponent places all the chosen cards in their drop areas. So so just pretty much like really control heavy. Like this is a double strike indestructible, and having indestructible is actually super nice when you're in a meta where these like Beerus's are there, and there's a lot of alternative ways to explode this. That's super nice. It doesn't, obviously if you get your to 0 or less power, then it goes away, but pretty nice card, and being able to just make them discard 2 is nice. And then to support this, pretty much just like this blue-green defense core that goes super well. Android 16 is good for ramping up, check lands here. Being able to have access to defending Father Paragus is fantastic. Piccolo is a nice alternative card if they're spamming a bunch of small bodies on the board. Playing this and being able to clean them up while also getting card advantage is nice. We've got this Ultimate Fusion Gogeta, which I don't think there's a way to Yeah, there's no cards you can use to Union Fusion, but that's still fine for 5. Being able to just like pop 2 things and draw 2 is great. Also, with the arrival of Son Goku and Son Gohan, being able to once again pop something and also make your opponent go negative in hand is good. Food Dark Banisher, obviously a good win condition, especially when you're making your opponent discard cards, and just being able to have like this kind of tiny like discard engine while also being able to use your like leader's ability, and like this can make them like discard 2 cards as well. So just having a small hand size is nice. And then also Android 21 Violent Predator is kind of like a backup plan. So it's triple attack, deflect, and when you play this card from your hand, choose all of your opponent's non-multicolor energy and bio cards, ignoring barrier, negate their skills, turn them to the owner's deck, and then just shuffle cards. So being this like a big triple attack is fine, and then also being able to just like wipe your opponent's like energy and stuff. Unfortunately, like so. The big thing about this is that multicolored cards are being more and more, more and more decks are using them. So you don't probably wipe as much as you think you do, but it's still pretty good. Notable cards in the sideboard. We've got Zeno, Almighty Guardian. This is great for popping stuff for 2 energy, or even 3. That's totally fine on like a battle attack. Android 21, Battleman. I wonder if he thought like this Android 8 was good. I wasn't able to commentate the last match, unfortunately, but I almost would think this would be better in the main and then this would be better in the side, but he would obviously be better at determining that. And then also this Fuse Zamasu Deity Wrath. So this also is great for like you can use the 3-drop Goku Rose, Rose Goku Black to do that, and then additionally, you can activate for 1 if you have 3 or more energy. Choose green battle cards at any cost 5k or more. With a total energy cost of 5 and place them in your drop area, then play this card from your hand. And then when this card attacks, your opponent chooses 1 card from their hand and place in the drop. So like if this attacks twice, then it's kind of like at least as good as this guy, but just like an alternative way to do this. So really cool deck, especially just like this is like really mid-rangey like hand destruction, and hand destruction usually hasn't been super well lately, but like this has like this hand destruction like kind of archetype around it, and I think it's super cool. Next up, we've got Andrew Duval's top 4 deck, and so his deck was a little bit similar as like so you'll see a lot of common cards. The big difference with him is that he went tricolor, so he went yellow. Great Ape Son Goku, fantastic card. Just because you don't even have to use yellow energy to use it, you can just use 2 to draw 2. He also used the Krillin Android and Power Couple, and also the Super Saiyan Broly All Out Assault, just for some really powerful arrival cards. Both these are great and can really disrupt your opponent. Also lets you have Champa, and really like the cool thing about this deck is that this Janemba Infernal Intruder. This card's like a lot of people I think overlooked this for a while, and I still do. And honestly, it's been popping up a little bit, but here's what it is. So if you have 3 more cards in your energy and no battle cards in your play, you can just play this for 1 blue and it's a 20k crit. That's pretty nice. And then so you have this big 20k crit that you can just play, and then you can still have energy open, and then your opponent has to counter this or pay attention to this, and this gets you kind of like ahead in the like life lead pretty easily. Select this card, and then he's also running he's running 2 of these Android 21s in the main. If you don't remember, so Piccolo lets you choose one of his ultimate abilities is that he lets you choose a blue-green multicolored card in your in your drop area, put it in energy for free, ignoring energy exhaust. So you can just put these Android 21s into your drop area, and then you can awaken and then use its ability, ramp up, and then you can just like proc like extra damage. So super nice, and like a good like alternative win condition. He's also running the Secret Rare Vegeta. Love this card. Being able to just either ramp up 2 or just be like an alternative win condition in itself is just fantastic. And that's really it. The other cool kind of tech card he has was Final Showdown Son Goku. So this procs when you have a Krillin with energy cost of 4 or more in your battle area KO'd. So this Krillin and Android 18 is a 4-drop Krillin. So this is a cool tech card. So if they try to blow this up, you can just play this for free and then blow up one of your opponent's cards. So cool card, or just cool deck in general. Like going tricolor, and good job to Andrew. Next up, we've got, let's see, Eddie St. Hilaire's. So this is a top 16 one, I believe. Yes. So this is what he got, top 16. He's also running this Goku Rose deck option, so some big differences that he did. He didn't do the ramp engine. He did decide to put 2 of the Android 21s, and he's also running some of these Krillins. So Krillin the Cunning and also Heavy Kick Krillin. This Heavy Kick Krillin I think is super duper good. So if your leader card is blue and there's a multicolor card in your energy, when you combo with this card, it gets plus 5k combo power for duration of the turn. This is just nuts, like having a 10k combo for already doing stuff. I think it's a really cool card, and I'm surprised not more people are using this with Surge Piccolo. But I think other than that, just pretty standard compared to the other ones. He also ran this newfound power Son Gohan, which can be really nice, getting you to 3 life. A lot of people weren't running Self Awakening on their Surge leaders, which seems fine, but like sometimes you gotta get stuck at like weird energy, weird life values. And I bet having this newfound power Son Gohan really was helpful, getting the 3 life and then being able to use the abilities you wanted. Next up, we've got Marquesas. So he's also running Tricolor, and this looks pretty dang similar to Andrew's list as well. Some key differences is he's running this is kind of more aggressive, I'd say. It doesn't have like the big 8-drop win condition. It looks like you're just trying to like sacrifice your life for their life. Using Special Beam Cannon is fantastic, being able to just use this to make them drop more cards and just put pressure with all this crit. So really cool. Dark Temptation Toe is a nice add. Furthering Destruction Champa for your double strike crits. And I like this Janemba already has crit and all this pressure otherwise. Sneaking in 2 Frost Deadly Poisons, really sneaky. Which is kind of weird because this seems like more of an aggressive deck than a control deck, but interesting choice there. And then kind of like a more controlling hand destruction in the side. And then lastly, we've got Dejan's. So he has like the more interesting one. So this is like a Victory Strike deck. What you do is you just wait until turn 8 and you just hardcast that. That's it. So this Piccolo leader is super duper good because it lets you like ramp for free, and that's super nice. So being able to do that and just play this safely and go from there. Something I was really surprised with is he wasn't running like the I don't know what he does when he gets hit by a Champa. I mean, I guess the idea is that you play this King Vegeta's the Majestic Ruler, and then you just have this on the field, and then when you do, you play your Son Goku. And then you just like maybe swing with this and then combo it away to let battle cards have abilities, and then I don't remember what the ruling was, if which one has to be on the field first. I think if this is on the field first, this doesn't have its abilities, but you can just always combo this off on your turn. So as long as they're not playing a negate, you're fine. But I think you like swing with something else, combo this, and then swing with this to get around stuff like Champa from putting this in rest mode. But I'm kind of surprised he didn't run like the not Beerus Ball, but the other ones, like All Out Attack, like the green version of it or the blue one, like Absolute Release Ball, I believe it was called, because that can just be really good for like protecting this card from counterplays. But yeah, I think this deck is just really sweet. It's kind of lame, and Dejan said the same thing. He's just like, I just play and then I don't die, so I win, and so it seems kind of funny, but I think this is a cool deck. And if you have Victory Strike and you want like an alternative way to use it, I think this is a cool version of it. Next up, we're going to go to Justin Rio's Surge Coup, and so those are the 5 Surge Piccolo. So let's go to the Surge Coup. So he's running this very interesting. I saw a couple of people doing this build where it's kind of like a mix of like Gogeta and of like what, like not, it looks like he's not running the what is it, Height of Mastery package. He's running the Son Goku Path to Grand. It's just because this is a yellow 19k Goku, which is really good with this 19 drop Vegeta. Like, so the idea with this is you can use both these to Union Fusion into Gogeta. But yeah, just a really powerful deck and kind of idea there. The only thing with this I'd say is that you're only running like a couple blue, and so I almost think you'd want a little bit more in the deck just to verify, 2 blue on like what, you have 9 blue cards in your deck, including these 3 Frost Deadly Poisons. So I think you'd want a little bit more with that. I didn't know if that was an issue with them. But there's also just alternative win conditions of 1 just being obnoxious with Surge Coup and being kind of like passive aggressive with it. You're also running the secret rare, And you can just do some fun stuff with the Super Saiyan 4 Son Goku as well. But really cool. Having to be Surge Coup is still fantastic. Being able to just win by putting pressure on your opponent and being really like cost effective with your stuff. Super Saiyan Vegeta is very cost effective still. Great at Bardock's really cost effective. Being able to just draw 2 for 2 is very effective. And blowing stuff up with Beerus and Frosted Leaf Poison and Champa, like all these are just really good cards put in one. And like Brawly Crown of Retribution as well. Just like having all these cards in one deck anyways sets you up for success. So it's not a surprise that he was able to do so well with all this. Next up, we've got Travis Washburn's Surge Coup. So his was a little bit different, but mostly it kind of looks a lot like the version that was run by Robert Reese's last weekend. Just tricolor with red, blue, and yellow. And you just really be obnoxious with those cards that I mentioned earlier. Combination attacks, cool card you use. Sensu Bean is really, really nice. Justin Rios is also running Sensu Bean, but Sensu Bean in this leader is fantastic because you have a lot of value, but you have you get a little bit energy untapped sometimes. So Sensu Bean is fantastic for extending your plays. He's also running Cooler with Mirror and Double Strike, the old combo there. So that's nice. And Vegeta Agent of Destruction, just because this can be used for a 30k double strike dual attack when you play it, so that's cool. But yeah, nothing too different from Robert's deck. And then let's go to Joey. Shout out to Joey getting top 16 2 events in a row. He's not spoilers. Robert Rizzi also did that, but shout out to Joey. So he's pretty much running the same stuff he ran last week as well. Red Yellow just being kind of more aggressive than the other ones, but still running all the good cards. These Dimensional Banisher Fu, I don't know if he ran it last week, but it really worked this week. Fantastic card, and helped just with just cheap removal. And we don't really care about cards in our drop area with this deck. Especially since we're not running anything with Sparking. Not having these Great Ape Son Goku is a little bit annoying if you warp 2 of those, but seriously super good. And a lot of decks are like subbing in this battle to the death, and I haven't talked about it yet, but this card's fantastic. Being able to just use 2 energy to kill anything with barrier 25k or less, and also helping you self-awaken a little bit. This is great, and I know he used this to his advantage, especially against anything using Path of Greatness to Victory Strike. And so solid deck, solid play, and shout outs to Joey. And next up, we've got Hassan's, and I think this is the last Surge Coup. Okay, so yeah, this is the last Surge Coup, and honestly, this looks a lot like Joey's. It really is. It's just you run a lot of good red-yellow cards, and you just win because you outvalue your opponent. So I don't have a lot more to say about this because they're all. The Surge Coup, unlike the Surge Piccolos, all look very similar because you have to be running Bardock, you have to be running Super Saiyan Vegeta. Beerus is great, Super Saiyan 4, Goku's great, Great Ape Son Goku's great, and Secret Ray, all these cards you kind of have to you feel like you have to run. So there's that. Also so this Bardock is a little bit easier to get to this week. So it's a counterattack, and then when you're paying for your leader's surge ability, Awakened Surge, you may use this card in your battle as part of the cost. So this is kind of neat, a little cute thing. I don't know how useful this is if people are using a lot of it, but there is something. Okay, so next up we've got Thomas Lipman's Yellow Babies. So 2 Yellow Babies made it top 16, and Thomas made it top 4, which is cool. This deck is very similar to honestly what we've been seeing for a while. Which isn't bad because it's still super solid. Some tweaks that I saw him made was one, he used Topo Righteous Aid, fantastic card for just being more defensive and catching your opponent off guard. And this deck really lets you get to turn if you don't have to be super aggressive turn 3 win. You can be kind of slowly value based with especially with Apocalypse Grudge, Great Ape Baby. So he's running 2 of these, and then with Baby Vengeful Blow as well. This is great so if they try to blow up the 6-drop, you get this out, and then you can go into the 7-drop and go from there. So really cool recursion there. Dark Temptation Toa is a really nice card for this deck, especially since it gives your leader plus 5k power rotation in the turn, and so you can do this before you swing with your leader before you awaken. So you get 15k attack and then 220k attack. So that's nice that you get this bump and then also being able to discard a card from their hand. That's super nice. And also the Super Baby one. I don't think a lot of people run this, but some people do. So he's someone. And when he was spoilers, he did a top 8 match. And when he did some really cool stuff, especially with this Epochal Grudge, being able to just hard evolve on 4. I believe he did it on Baby Evil Origins, but I also think he did it on Super Baby 1. So that was super funny to see that, and just pay 4 for this guy. And yeah, just a super good deck, still solid, and not super surprised that it made a top 16 and top 4 for that matter. And then we also have Marcel's list, very similar, because there's not, like, this deck is so tight already. Differences, does Thomas run? Yeah, he does run 1 double strike, but he does not run the cooler, and I can see that cooler being really helpful. I mean, I'm really surprised that Marcel didn't put like a Mira in here, but just no overwhelm in general. This deck really can use some overwhelm if you need it, because you don't really care about your drop area at all. But Marcel's just probably like one of the best aggro players in the world. If you watch, he had a stream match, and if you watch it, there's so many times where you thought like, okay, he was dead in the water, but he just kept moving and making the right plays and just kept getting out of tricky situations. So this is a great deck. He unfortunately, his deck list was off when he submitted it, and so he got a game 1 loss in top 16, and I think he got to game 3, but he ended up losing anyways. So a little unfortunate there. I would like to see what he could do if he could have advanced further, but still great deck and a great player. Next up, we're going to the Surge Broly. So we've got Robert Rizzi's red-green Broly. Really cool. I really like this this Broly Tragedy Foretold. Fantastic card, and being able to just pop your opponent's stuff and go from there is cool. I like the card. I think it's great. And so if you look through his deck, some things. First of all, he had a really cool top 16 match, and he had it against Dejan. Really recommend watching that match. It was great. But some added tech for this kind of archetype. First of all, Sun Goten Strong of Heart is a really great card. Being able to just combo this with your Dormant Legends, and one, you get more draws with your Broly, and then you also get to have some Self-Awakening with this card. Super good. It took forever, but it's finally good, since this was back in October they released this card, so I just had to sit around for a while. Also, this Broly Swift Executioner from the championship packs is super duper good. So it's an active battle for 1 red, 1 green. If your leader card is a Broly card, play this card from your hand, then choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards that gets minus 10k power for the turn. And then also auto choose 1 card in your life and add to your hand. When you play this, choose 1 card in your opponent's hand and place it in their drop area. So this is like the 4-drop that depends on Dormant Legend. This is like just a better version of that, because you don't need Dormant Legend, and you don't have to like neg cards to do it. It's just like a 2-drop active battle. Fantastic. Being able to have some Self-Awakening is great, and really like this card. He put into good use. He also ran the Broly Dimensional Punisher. So when this card is placed in the drop area from a combo area, is sent to the warp instead, and also active battle for 1 green. If your leader card is a red or if your leader is red, combo this card from your battle area or drop area. So this is just like a free combo from the drop. You don't have to use any like cards from your hand to use it. So that's nice, and there's that. He also ran, let's see. Oh, so the cheeky combos he did was with the Super Saiyan 4, Son Goku, Heartful Plea. So he's running 2 familiar bonds, which is great for getting your 4-star balls. And then you can use your 4-star balls to make any of your red 20 drops into 25k drops. So for example, like this Digging Deep Vegeta, you can make it a 20k, and then from there, use 1 4-star ball to make it a 25k, and then awaken, because you can awaken whenever you want with Broly, and then just drop the Super Saiyan 4 Son Goku super early. Works with any of your 20ks on the board that are red, so like this Broly Swift Executioner, or even with this Champa and Beerus. Just lets you get this out early and go from there. You can even, I've kind of talked about this play where you can use this Broly Tragedy Foretold, and you can combo this out, arrival it out for 2. Use this effect, give 2 things minus 15k. Awaken, send it to the drop area with Super Saiyan 4. With Broly, you untap 2 energy, and then you can, since you still have the arrival cost, you can play another one. So I thought that's cool. You can do this in this deck as well, and just being able to get this off the field so you can play another Broly, so you can give 2 more things 15k is really worth it. Also, some cool side deck cards. This Broly, the Supreme Berserker. This one's super duper neat. So you can just evolve for 5 on top of any Broly, including Broly Crown of Retribution, which is a fantastic card. Or any of these, especially like the idea you can like send this out, like play these on your opponent's turn, and then on your next turn you can evolve it for here. So it's crit barrier and it's burst 5. So if your leader card's Broly, if your opponent has 3 or less cards in their hand, switch this card to active mode. Or if your opponent has 4 or more cards in their hand, they reveal their hand, choose 1 card from it, and you place it in the drop area. So being able to just drop cards from their hand is fantastic. Like just looking in their hands some more and dropping cards is cool. And it's also a burst card, which means that you get to fill up your drop area for Kaioken later. Just great cards, and really think they're neat. So cool, innovative cards there, and congrats to him. Next up, we've got Isaiah's red green, so kind of similar, but he does he's looking more aggressive with it. Not as he's not like using yellow or the new Brolys at all. He's just using the old cards with just 1. He's using some God Strike Beerus, which can be used with the combo from the drop area. I don't know why you use God Strike Beerus unless I don't know, because you can just like choose one of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring Bear, and KO it with Broly. So I feel like anything you try to remove, you could just probably remove the card easier, but that's something. And he's also running some Super Saiyan. Like this is a little bit more aggressive version. So since he's running like Newfound Power Son Gohan and also Saiyan Gaba and all that, this just seems really strong and just really aggressive. So nice, and congrats to Isaiah. For this. So also, I haven't talked about the Secret Rare. The Secret Rare wins games super duper easily. Just for 5 energy on a rival, you just make them lose 2 outright, and then you make it very hard for them to combo out of anything. So I love this card, and the fact that both of them were able to use it was really neat. Then lastly, we've got Peter Katani. Very similar build to Isaiah, and like the combination of both their decks of Isaiah and Robbie. Difference with him, so he's not running. He is running Kaioken in the main, and to do so, he's using like Popo's Guardian Aid to do that. Nice card, and shouts to Michael Friend who did this last week. But the idea is you just use this to burst 3 from the top of your deck. And if you need more cards in your deck, in your drop area in like an emergency situation, you can use Broly Surge of Brutality to combo from your drop area, and then you just get like 3 more in the drop. So that's nice. And then you just play this Kaioken, and while you're doing that, you just apply pressure with like your leader, and also like these 6 drops and other Brolys. I'd say like the biggest thing is I don't think he should be running this Broly Rapid Barrage. I think he should be running the Championship Pack. He's also running one of these cards. I think it's okay, but not great. I feel like there should be like a little bit more burst in this deck, but still super great. And shoutouts to Peter for the top 16. And, all right, 2 last decks. So we've got 2 outlier decks. First, we've got Michael Silk's Red Baby. Really wanted this deck to be on stream all day. He didn't want to do it until top 16, which is fine. And then he forgot to put the 2 1-drop red Brolys. Crown of Retributions on his deck list, so he got a game 1 loss, and then he lost, and I believe game 3 once again in round 16. So that was a real heartbreaker. He had an awesome deck, really cool, being able to just have like these evolve cards. Really focused on getting out these, the 6-drop Epochal Grudge, and he had a couple ways to do so, especially like with 1-drop babies, or you could use into Saiyan Strength Baby, and just honestly evolving on the Super Baby 1 Parasect Menace. He also ran like Exploiting Weakness, since this is the red one. He had the red Secret Rare, Vengeful Blow Baby, which was great, for some protection on this. And then, also Fu Shrouded Mystery, just if you get to late. And honestly, Super Baby 2, this one, Malicious Majesty, is fantastic for getting to the end of the game. especially if they have like a 20, like a surge leader. Being able to just negate their non-keyword skills and make them blank wins you the game, because then like if you're trying to use like Surge Q to like give yourself the 10k buff, or like wipe all the skulls of all battle cards on the field, you can't, because you get yourself wiped. So, and like the idea, you can have the 6-drop baby out, and then they try to blow it up, so you play this baby vengeful blow, and then when you can do an auto, the Union absorbs with the Vegeta GT, you just put this back into you Union absorb, and you put a baby with 30k power on top of it, so you can just use this super baby 2. It's deflect, offering, and then also just this pressure on your opponent. It's an active battle skill, so you have to choose 3 cards in your hand, place them in a drop, and also take a life, but it's very much worth it, just if you're trying to swing for game. So really cool. I wish I could have seen the second off in action, but I think this is just honestly great cards, and yeah, hopefully next time it works out. And then lastly, we've got Miguel's Yellow Broly. Nothing super duper creative, but like this is kind of like the yellow blue mixes of past. Broly is still a great leader, and it's honestly been he's been a great leader for an entire year, and it's finally time to just say, all right, they're nerfing him now, and so we can't really use him at the same capacity. I think that's fine. I think he's had his reign. It sucks that it's like a couple months after he got reprinted, but I think it's his time. And honestly, it really has come to the situation of like, there's so many times when Yellow Broly is just the best leader compared to anything, just because he's so generically good. And I think nerfing him just so other leaders have a chance is the right move. So shame to see that, but once again, nice job to Michael for playing this. He had nothing too crazy, just like red blue. He actually this is quad color because he had this Godstrike Beerus, but just honestly being able to play good stuff. And when you blue and yellow. He also ran this hit rapid movement the blue yellow arrival stuff, and like the secret rare. Yeah, just great cards. Honestly, once again, it's just like this idea, like, oh, can you run a leader that can play a lot of great cards that can, like, Broly can win the game by himself since he's impressive enough. So and then you have like these other cards. So but yeah, that's going to be it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you think about this top 16. Let me know what you thought about my commentating. If you have any pointers or anything, let me know. If you want to see me commentate at events again, drop my name for me, so it doesn't look like it's just me complaining that I'm not at events. Like, make it, let other people know you liked it. And if people are looking for commentators for events, please don't be afraid to drop my name. I'd really appreciate it. And yeah, that's going to be it. Once again, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all next time.